G'day there, Black Belters. Jono here. The countdown's on. There's only 7 sleeps until our Black Belt Mastermind in Brisbane up at the Convention Centre. So there's a few things I want you to know about what's going to happen so you can get yourself prepared. So for those of you who've been in Black Belt Mastermind for a while, the format will be very familiar to you. For those of you who are new, welcome. Very excited to have you on board for your first Mastermind get-together. The event, of course, is broken into 2 days. So first day is education, second day is Mastermind. And this time we have the theme of systems. So on day 1, the morning session is going to be facilitated by John Tonkin from Brain in a Box. So those of you who've been around for a while would have heard John talk before. And before, he's gone through how to create systems in your practice. We're going to be working more on that. And specifically, John's going to be talking about mapping the ideal patient journey. Now, John's going to be introducing you a little bit to the idea of the moments of truth that a patient will hit throughout their journey with you. And just I'd like you to think in preparation for this a little bit about what happens before the patient actually hears about you and then they're having their first referral or they consume a little bit of advertising, right through picking up the phone, making a booking or booking online, through to actually arriving at your practice, through to the appointment, paying, and then what happens post the appointment with the follow-up and that continuation of that relationship. So sometimes I think it's actually quite easy to think about what happens now. And so I want you to actually really dig down and think about what happens now in that practice. But what John will be helping you workshop is looking at why everything happens in that process, mapping out what actually happens so that it can be followed all the time, and then looking out for opportunities where you'll be able to either value add or do something to improve the relationship along that journey. And I would hope by the end of John's session you'll have a really clear chart, a process flow chart that is a new and improved version that you can put into your existing operations manual. So in the second half of day 2, we have Pete Moriarty coming in from IT Genius. Now, Pete is a real Google genius. And whereas in the morning you're going to have John introducing you to how to actually create this system, Pete's going to talk a little bit more about the tools that are on offer for you to be able to create these and bring them out to your team. He'll be talking a little bit about things like Google Sites and rescue time. And now that I know a lot of you have been introduced to Asana through our coaching, he'll talk a little bit about using Asana and Google Apps as well. So that's day 1. The homework there is to think a little bit about your ideal patient journey and what actually happens now. Day 2 is Mastermind, and it's pretty much the same format. The things that you guys are going to need to be aware of is what is my most burning issue this time around, and what would I like to bring to my Mastermind group that I really need help with. The second thing is that you're going to be pitching your next 90 days back to the group and getting feedback and giving feedback to the other people about what you're planning to do and feedback about what they're planning to do over the next 90 days. So come please with your 90-day plan already. The thing that's going to be a little bit exciting, a little bit different this time is that at the beginning of the day we're actually going to have some breakout sessions. So these will take about an hour and it's your choice. You get to choose which one you're going to go to, and they're basically this. The 6-step sales process, Paul Crane's going to be facilitating that one. Joshna is going to be doing something on driving accountability. I'm going to be doing something on marketing light bulbs and talking about some specific strategies that you can use in your marketing. And then because Troy's been making a lot of changes in his practice up in Toowoomba, he's going to be sharing some of his best practice ideas, particularly around team and culture. And so each of those sessions will be in a little breakout space. You can choose one of those, and then after that we'll then go into the hot seat where you share your most burning issue. So for those of you who are a little bit new to the planning process, it doesn't have to be that complicated. And what we're going to do is to focus for you guys on the 5 pillars: sales, systems, team, finance, leadership. What do you need to do? What are your key objectives in those 5 areas? For those of you who have been doing this for quite a long time, we're going to be introducing a little bit more rigor from our point of view, particularly around numbers. And I'd like your coaches to work with you on this, is to start with some real numbers goals and then work out what the strategic actions are going to be, and there's things that you're going to need to put in place to get to those particular numbers, because I'd like you to get really specific about what you really want. That's it from me for now. So once again, have a think about your ideal patient journey and also make sure that you've got your basic bones of your 90-day plan already done and come ready to pitch it to your group. See you next week, guys.